Hey, I just want to cover something about physical media. This is just a short video. I was at work yesterday, and I was talking to a guy who works on the paint line, and I work in the small parts department. And we were talking about movies. So it was Saturday. It was kind of like everything was just kind of laid back. You know, we don't work Saturdays very much. And Ryan and I was talking about we're excited about the new Gremlins that's supposed to be coming out next year. Nobody's talking about Gremlins 3 that's supposed to be coming out. And Steven Spielberg is supposed to be helping make this movie, right? So I was like, yeah, man, I'm really excited about that. And then the tow motor driver named Wendy, she come by and Wendy asked me a question about some parts that went back in my room. And I said, Wendy, I said, you remember Gremlins? She goes, oh, I love that movie. She goes, the second one, and I said, yeah, the second one was like, and I said, I liked it, but it wasn't like the first. And I said, I love that first one. And Ryan loves the first one. Then Ryan was talking about he's excited about seeing the next Gremlin that comes out. And I said, man, I can't wait. I said, I hope they do good. Then Wendy's like, oh, I don't know. She goes, they might CGI it to death and all that. I said, yeah, well, you know they're going to use a lot of CGI in it. I told her, I said, but you do know Steven Spielberg's going to have a lot to do with it. She goes, oh, really? She goes, oh, that might be saved there. Because she's like, you know how they do newer movies now? They always do stuff in it to, kind of irritate us. I said, I know, Wendy. I said, let's just hope that, this next Gremlin 3 can be, you know, a hit, And Ryan, he's excited about it. See, I'm in my 60s. Ryan's 38, and then Wendy's 52. So we were all talking about there's this girl around the nut welder, and she's like, oh, yeah. She goes, she's like 50. She says she loves Gremlins. Well, anyway, I went home after I got off work, and do you know this morning I woke up and I was like, I do not have Gremlins in my movie collection. None of my movie collections here I have the Gremlins. So the point of what this video is all about is, you know how they say collecting physical copies and streaming is taking over, and uh, uh, I guess the physicals are dying out. Why is it that like I got up this morning, I was literally laying down. It was like, I don't know, 5 o'clock in the morning. I grabbed my phone and I got on Amazon and I clicked and I seen there was a Gremlins 4K, right? So I was like, man, I'm gonna go ahead and buy it. So I bought Gremlins 4K. It's coming in tomorrow from Amazon. Now I admit, when you go to the store, you can't you go to Walmart. Walmart has a nice selection. Best Buy don't have it no more. We don't have no Target here. Our Kmart went out of business here. It closed down. And we don't have mom and pop stores like some places do here in America. But it's the physical copies and collecting physicals are dying out like they say. Then why is it that I can just click and buy it somewhere? Here's the thing I'm trying to make a point about. They're trying to force us to think that physical media is dying. And there are some people that just don't want to have nothing to do with collecting physicals and storing them in their house and putting up, so it takes up too much space, and I just don't like all that mess. But yet they'll go digital. But when the internet's down, they can't watch nothing because they can only watch their movies through the internet. So if the internet goes down, they're SOL. But the, what this video is all about is that it was 5 something in the morning. I was laying down, and I like to get up early. So I was like, I clicked buy. It was only like, I think $22 or something for the 4K. So I bought the 4K so I could have it in my little collection here. So I bought me a new shelf, man. I got my little display right here. I usually film over there, but now I got this going on, man. Kind of nice, ain't it? Yeah, I like it. Looks good, don't it? Little Friday 13th. Little San Francisco 49ers. I got my Iron Man 3 movie collection. I got my Resident Evil. Got my, my X-Files box down there. I like it, man. I just got this I got this right here at Walmart. But if you're making, let's just say you're a company and you're making $250 million annually just selling physical copies, you're not gonna throw that away, because I'm just using that as a ballpark. I don't know how much money they're making on people like us who buys physicals, but somebody's buying physicals because it was 5 something in the morning. I'm laying down. I reached and grabbed my phone like that, and I was looking, and there it was there it was, and I was like, I hit buy, so it comes tomorrow. But I noticed last week I was talking to Ryan. I said, man, I said, you ever watch The Green Mile? He goes, I didn't like, Ryan kind of loud. I didn't like that movie. He says, man, he goes, I said, I didn't like it either. He said, and then before I could finish what I was going to say, Ryan's like, but man, I watched it again and I ended up liking it. I said, man, Ryan, I did the same thing. I said, I watched this movie. I said, man, this movie just, I don't know about this movie. What's the big deal about this movie? And Ryan's like, man, I did too. And I said, Ryan, I watched it again and I liked it. Have you ever watched movies and you didn't like it at first, then you give it a second try, and then you're like, okay, I see why this movie like. Well, anyway, I didn't have The Green Mile, right? So I'm like, I got on Amazon again and got The Green Mile. But what I'm using Amazon as a point is, Amazon's not the only one that you can get these, all these physical copies from. So somebody is making money off of physicals, and somebody is making money off of selling physical copies to a lot. I know they say it's a niche market, but I think these streaming industries want you to get hooked on them like some type of drug. Like if you got a cocaine habit or just a popping pill habit or something, they want you to get. It's like if you go to the doctor and the doctor always wants to prescribe some type of medicine to you because he wants you to stay on that medicine so he can keep dragging your butt in the doctor's office so he can keep making money off of you, because he can't make money off of you on an empty, his office being empty, where people go to sit so they can, when you walk up and you say the name and they say you're next, he'll go in and look at you because they make money off you being sick. So it's almost like the streaming industry's wanting you to get hooked to their streaming site. But here's the thing. Do you know that if the internet goes down, your streaming services is not going to be working? Your streaming service will not work because you need the internet to access to the streaming service, which I think is a little dangerous. Case in point, my boys' mom, we ain't been together forever. But she called me out of the blue. Did she text me or did she call me? She texted me, she says, hey, she goes, you got any movies I can watch? And I said, of course. I said, I got a lot. What do you need? She goes, oh, she had, this is years before, this is years before, man, how many years have been? I bet it's been about 13, 14 years. She texted me out of the blue, and I said, yeah, come on up. So she came up, and she walked in, she says, because we had not been together for years, and so she goes, I moved, and my internet don't get hooked up, and this and that till, she had 3 days. She got moved in on a Friday, and she had to wait till Monday or Tuesday, because, sometimes when you call to get the internet hooked up and all that. I think it was Tuesday, and I said, sure, pick out what you want. So she came in, and of course I had a vast library of movies, and she picked out like 4 or 5 movies. She goes, I'll bring them back. I said, I have no problem. I said, I know where you live, plus I get the kids every other weekend. She goes, thanks. I said, you're welcome. And she took those movies and she watched them. She even dropped them off after she got her stuff hooked up. She goes, that one show was like this. And I said, what was they doing in that one show? Because she's kind of like a high-spirited type of chick. And I was like, I don't know. I said, she goes, and what was that one thing about? I was like, she was talking. So she actually literally watched those movies. But just goes to show you, she had moved in maybe a Thursday. And then she went to try to get her internet and stuff and cable hooked up, but they were booked until a certain day, so she had to wait. So she had to wait like 4 or 5 days. She just wanted something to watch, so she borrowed my movies. You see what I'm saying? So she could have access to watch something because her electricity was on. See what I mean? Her electricity was on, but she didn't have no internet. So when she brought those back, she told me about the movies she had watched. She had made comments about this to happen there. She goes, why did they do that in there? Because she's kind of just a high spirit type of chick. And I was like, hey, I don't know. I said, yeah, I remember that part. Yeah, I remember that part. I kept saying, so it just goes to show you, there has to be, I still say, I'm a conspiracist though, how Fox Mulder in X-Files, I always think sometimes, man, they're all in cahoots with each other. Let's tell these people that it's all doom and gloom on the physical side, so we can get everybody to subscribe to our streaming services, and then, we can make them think that the end is near. The end may be near. It might be near in my grandkids', because I got grandkids that's like pushing 12 and 13 and 8 and 9 and 7 and 3 and 4. The youngest ones are maybe a year old, 3 years old, 5, 6, and I got maybe a couple 11 and 12s, 9s and 8s, right? I got 6 grandkids. So maybe that's what they're getting them programmed to, because my grandkids are programmed to the internet. They're programmed. I mean, they are programmed. They are wired. Internet goes down, they're like this. They're bored as all get out, Where when I was a kid, we didn't have the internet, so you went outside and played. Not that there's anything wrong with my grandkids, it's just that the internet goes down, they get bored. They ain't got nothing to do. So, what I'm saying is that the streaming services are trying to make it like, oh man, join our platform, man. We got all these movies. Like, I was going through Netflix the other day, and they got so much stuff on there. I was like, my God, man, they just got tons. My Prime, I got Prime Video, and they got tons of stuff. Now, I ain't gonna lie though, I like my Netflix. I do like my Prime Video, so I ain't gonna lie. I do like my Shudder. I do like streaming services, but I don't like it enough to where I'm gonna not collect my physical copies. But the point I'm making is, it was 5 something in the morning, and I wanted to get that daggone Gremlins, and I hit buy, and I can get on eBay, I can get on other sites to get, I can go on other sites to get physical copies. So somebody is making money somewhere, and is physical media dying? Yeah, but then it's not, because somebody's getting a chunk of change to make those physical copies, and every month we always have, this is available on Barnes & Noble, this is available on Walmart exclusive, this is available Amazon. Amazon only sells this version of a movie on so and so. Sometimes you have to get a steel book from UK because it was distributed over there in UK market. So I'm just saying this: if somebody went through the says, we're gonna let you guys have it over here in the UK, so people in America want this, they have to pay you guys to get it from the UK. Because some people's like, well, why didn't they make it in the United States? Well, they just didn't. Because there's a lot of times you want something that's got a physical steel book it might be offered in Japan, it might be offered in the UK, and you have to pay shipping. And you're gonna pay the money. I know I paid, some dollars and some cents for some steel cases. I done fell in love with steel cases, man. I love the artwork. Anyway, this is a 13-minute video. I didn't want to go too long, but I just don't know if physical media is dying like they're trying to say. I just think sometimes they're in cahoots with each other. They want us to be so wired into that internet. They want us to be so wired in, like, oh God, we really need the streaming services, when you don't really need the streaming service. Go out and get you some books. Read you some books. You don't need no streaming platform for that unless you do Kindle or something like that. But anyway, I'm just talking off the top here. It's just, yesterday we was at work, man, because we ain't worked Saturday a while, and everybody was kind of laid back, and Ryan's over in the paint line. Wendy come by on the tow motor. This lady was running the nut welder, and I got my job, and we was just all sitting there talking about Gremlins, and we was kind of all talking about, because Wendy walked by, and Wendy came by, and she likes the first Gremlins, like I like the first Gremlins. Of course, Ryan likes the first Gremlins, and then the girl that was running the nut welder, she's kind of like burnt out. I think she smokes weed, and she's like, oh yeah, I like Gremlins too, I look at her sometimes, I'm like, girl, I think you be getting high, that's cool, but sometimes she just seems burnt. But she's like, oh, I watch Gremlins, I like Gremlins. I was like, you did? She goes, yeah. She goes, second one, not too much, She's like, yeah. I was like, so we were all talking about Gremlins, and then I realized I didn't have Gremlins. But then when I got to go order Gremlins, boom, there it was to order. So The only way that you ain't gonna get, like everybody making a big deal about Paramount being bought out and they're gonna shut down making physicals for a while because they gotta go through the transaction of being bought by some company, Skydance or whatever. And now people's painting, doom and gloom about that. But at the end of the day, somebody's gonna be making those physicals that Paramount has made movies that's coming out, because some people's gonna want their physicals. You don't look, at the end of the day, they ain't gotta force you to do anything. You ain't gotta force nothing, because you can force them into needing you, because you're the one that has the high dollars and cents. Yeah, high dollars and cents. You got the money. They want your money. They need your money to survive. If everybody cut off all these streaming services, if 85% of people unsubscribe to all streaming services for 1 year, see what they do then. See what they do then. They be like, we'll give you a whole year for $5 and so cents a month. I'm just exaggerating. But we are the ones that are in control. We're the ones that they make money off of. When people start getting it through the thick skull, they'll understand. These streaming services are making money off us. But if we decide to boycott them, which we're not, let's just say 80% of the world shut off the streaming services. 80%. They cannot function on 20%. They cannot. Watch them start running sales then. Yeah, watch them run some sales then, because they need us. We don't need them. They need us. We only think we need them. We find other ways to entertain ourselves. We will. We always find other ways to entertain ourselves. Just like we found ways to entertain ourselves when we were on that lockdown just a few years ago. We all found ways to entertain ourselves. That's how the streaming industry got that bump up, because we were all stuck in the house watching these streaming services. That's all I got. God bless. Take care. I'm going to catch you next video. We'll see you.